First writer is Tricia Marcella Cimera. She describes herself as a Midwestern poet with a worldview. Her work has been published in places ranging from the Buddhist Poetry Review to the Ekphrastic Review. Her micro chapbook, Go Slow, Leonard Cohen, was published in 2019 through the Origami Poems Project. And I was asking her about this right before we started. She maintains a cedar poetry box named the Fox Poetry Box in her front yard, where she posts some poems for people to read when they walk by. It sounds very cool. So you might want to ask her about it during the break, see where it's located if you want to take a walk by. So please welcome her up to the stage.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Water Street Writers, for inviting me to come. The little collection that was just referenced in my bio, Go Slow, Leonard Cohen, is what I'm going to be reading from. This is the non-origami version. It hasn't been folded and cut because I always forget how to do it. But there are, over there on that table, there are some copies of that. So, of course, I think most everybody knows who Leonard Cohen was. Absolutely a marvelous poet and songwriter. His songs and his poems are really the same. They just merge into one another. So I love him a lot, and he seems deceptively simple sometimes. So I thought, okay, it's probably easy to write like him. It's not, but it's easy to write about him. So that's what I've settled on. So the first poem is a very small poem. It's called Koan, and a koan is a small Buddhist riddle. So in this poem, I've written the riddle and the answer. Where can you find koan? In the black raincoat that never dries. Ponder that. The next poem is called Plum Poem for Leonard Cohen. You didn't create the tree, that was you. But you made the poems that fell like plums from your branches, all purple in the long grass where God is found. Thank you. The next poem is called Bed of Leonard, and there is truth to what I'm referencing here. A poster of Leonard Cohen hangs above my bed. The Man in Amsterdam, 1972. A present from my love. Leonard, surrounded by pigeons, looks upward with a smile. Sometimes when we roll and grapple, I can hear those pigeons on the cobblestones coo. And sometimes I hear Leonard, the lawyer of sex, laugh at us at the way we lovers can't help but do. Thank you. This poem is upon the death of Leonard. It's called Leonard Leaving. After I heard that Leonard Cohen died, I walked by the river, thought how no one held sad up to the light the way he had. I sang Alexandra Leaving, threw a dark stone into the water deep as his voice, saw a blue lotus flower float on a wave, watched it move unwaveringly away. Thank you. This next poem was written for an anthology. It was a Beautiful Dragons project, which is a UK bunch of poets, and I was assigned the Nightingale. It was a collection of poems about birds in the UK. So I decided to incorporate Leonard into that. Leonard and the Nightingale. I ran into Leonard Cohen in Amsterdam. This was after he died, but there he was, writing poems in the square. We drank cups of black tea. We walked and talked. He held my hand like it was a tiny boned bird. Life is all love and death, he sighed, pressing against me in a doorway, stroking my breast. We heard a nightingale sing out insistently, then stop, a fissure in the air. I looked for the bird in the linden trees, but Leonard shook his head, quietly said, "Baby, it's gone." And then the last poem I'm reading is the first poem I ever wrote about Leonard, and it's called Go Slow, Leonard Cohen. I had a dream Leonard Cohen was my first, and I was his last. Go slow, don't hurt me, I whispered. Go slow, don't kill me, he warned. He taught me why the yellow dog howls when the pink rose blooms in the dark of the night, while the rain runs in rivulets down the window. He showed me that sometimes I would be the dog, sometimes I would be the rose, but both of us were always the rain. And to go slow, the end would come soon enough. Thank you.